Yep, in my home, salt was the enemy. It was not allowed. We cooked with vegetable oil. We avoided all kind of fat, butter, and all kind of cholesterol. We went low everything to get my husband's blood pressure to come down. So if this is you and you've been told to cut the salt, lose some weight, eat low fat, avoid the butter, take another blood pressure medication, but your blood pressure is still high, this episode is for you. Today we're going to dig in and talk about how high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and your kidneys are connected, and why so many people are treating symptoms without ever addressing the root issue. And honestly, this is going to be a personal one because I'm going to share my husband's story. Stay tuned. If you're tired of sugar cravings, brain fog, fatigue, and all the conflicting health and diet advice, and you just want to know what's happening inside of your body, you're in the right place. I'm TaShawn Davis, holistic health coach, registered nurse, and metabolic health educator. I help you break sugar cravings through balanced blood sugar so you can take your health back naturally. So grab your favorite sugar-free drink, pop in those earbuds, and let's learn how to work with our body and not against it. Hey, before we jump in, I just wanted to read this review from Carol. After listening to my episode, Think You're Drinking Healthy? 3 drinks that are spiking your blood sugar plus what to drink instead. Here's what Carol said. This information is great. I will be adding these new helpful tips to my routine from now on, especially the ginger, mint, and lemon. I can't wait to try it. Hey, thank you so much, Carol. And I love hearing things like this because sometimes people think that change has to be extreme, but it often starts with small, practical swaps done consistently. So if you haven't listened to that beverage episode yet, definitely go back and check it out because what you drink daily affects your blood sugar, inflammation, cravings, energy, and yes, even your blood sugar. And thank you for everyone who has been leaving reviews because it truly helps this podcast reach more people who are searching for answers. All right, let's get into this story, y'all. So, my husband, for years, he had extremely high blood pressure. I mean, when I say extremely high, he had blood pressure 200 over 100. I am not exaggerating. He had multiple cardiologists. He had very educated doctors. I mean, his main doctors were at the University of Michigan. But we kept hearing the same thing over and over again. Cut the salt, cut the fat, avoid saturated fat, be careful with butter, watch the red meat. And we continued to just see his blood pressure stay right where it was. And they just kept adding more and more medications. We followed the advice, but his blood sugar stayed dangerously high, y'all. And this is where I really need people to listen carefully. Because this isn't about blaming the doctors. This is about understanding physiology. Eventually, after moving to Florida, he saw another cardiologist. And this cardiologist had a totally different take on what we've been told. He said, cut the sugar and cut the carbs. And, for me, that was like, hallelujah, because I had been saying the same thing for years, and it was refreshing to hear someone actually address the root cause. So his blood pressure started normalizing, and I mean like quickly, I don't even think it was a month, maybe a few weeks, that his blood sugar, I keep want to say blood sugar, his blood pressure started dramatically improving. I mean, down to normal levels where it was 120s over 80s. We've never seen those blood pressures. Not since we've been together, and we had been together over 20 years. And I remember sitting and thinking, why are we not talking about insulin? Why are we acting like blood pressure exists all by itself? Because it doesn't. Everything is connected. And this is what I need people to understand. Blood pressure is often not a salt issue. It is frequently an insulin problem, an inflammation problem, a blood sugar problem, a water retention problem. Overall, it's a metabolic problem. Let me help you to understand this a little bit better. How insulin affects the blood sugar. To break this down simply, every time the blood sugar rises significantly, your body increases insulin. Insulin's job is to move sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cells. But when insulin stays elevated chronically, the body starts changing in ways most people never hear about. One of those ways are the kidneys, y'all. The kidneys begin retaining sodium and water. And when you retain more fluid, blood pressure rises. So, ironically, people are obsessing over salt while still flooding their bodies with processed carbohydrates all day long. Understand this too. Physiology says that 1 gram of carbohydrates pulls 3 to 4 grams of water with it into the cell. So it makes our cells tighter and it makes our cells work tighter. This means that breads, pasta, cereal, juice, everybody wants to go on this juice cleanse and fast. And I'm like, you are messing up, your kidneys, your liver, everything. Crackers, chips, sugary drinks, processed snacks can contribute to water retention and swelling. If insulin remains high enough, the body stays in a consistent inflammatory state. So now let's talk about the kidneys. Because your kidneys help regulate fluid balance, sodium balance, and your blood pressure, chronically high blood sugar damages tiny vessels over time, including the tiny vessels in your kidneys. This is one reason why diabetics and kidney disease are often seen together. They're like hand in hand. And so many people start developing swelling, fluid retention, elevated blood sugar, elevated blood pressure, fatigue long before diabetes is diagnosed. And this is why I always say pre-diabetes is not almost diabetes. Your body is already struggling. And not only that, there's a hormone called aldosterone in your kidneys. And if insulin is very high, that aldosterone isn't working right. And that's the one that also tells your body to hold on to or to release that fluid. As a home health nurse for many years, I've walked into countless homes where people are doing everything they are told to do. The low fat, whole grain cereal, orange juice, oatmeal, crackers, snack bars, quote unquote healthy foods. Yet they are still exhausted, swollen, inflamed, gaining weight, brain fogged, fatigued, and struggling with high blood pressure. And a lot of them have normal labs or just slightly elevated labs. But their symptoms were screaming something was wrong. The symptoms also matter. So what can we do? First of all, we need to take an inventory of where are you right now? What are you doing? And if you find yourself, as far as your diet, you're one that is eating processed sugar, you need to reduce that sugar. If you're eating ultra processed carbohydrates, you need to reduce the carbohydrates. Increase your protein and healthy fats. Eat real foods. They shouldn't have a label on them. Prioritize your hydration with electrolytes, and taking walks can help with blood sugar. Watch the liquid sugar, especially in juice, sweet tea, soda, sports drinks, and healthy coffee drinks. And this is why Carol's review meant so much, because simple swaps matter. Sometimes ginger water, lemon, mint, mineral support, it helps us to choose a better beverage and reduce the sugary beverages. We can begin by shifting the body in powerful ways when we make better decisions. And friend, if you've been feeling frustrated doing everything right, please hear me. You're not crazy. Many people are following outdated advice that never addresses insulin resistance underneath the surface. Your body is not failing you. It may simply be overwhelmed by too much insulin. And once you understand what's happening physiologically, everything starts to make more sense. So if this episode has encouraged you, please be sure to go back and listen to the last episode where it talks about why am I so tired, dealing with brain fog and shortness of breath, the hidden cause. And then we've already talked about the beverage one, if you think you're drinking healthy. And in the next episode, we'll dive into why you're still gaining weight even though you're eating healthy. 5 foods that are spiking your blood sugar. And we're going to connect even more dots. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for leaving reviews. We have over 635 downloads in 18 countries in just a month. I've been going at this since April 6th. April 6th. And I just thank you all for your love and support. I'm still in awe of what God is doing. Never underestimate what can happen when you simply step out in obedience. You never know who's watching, and you never know who is being encouraged by even your journey. So until next time, take care of your body. It is the temple of God, and we need you in this hour. Your health matters far beyond weight loss. Be blessed. Alrighty, my friend. If this episode has helped you understand your body a little bit better and helped you have the confidence to make better informed healthcare decisions, share it with someone you know who may be struggling with sugar cravings, brain fog, or fatigue, because they may not even realize that blood sugar could be the reason. And also leave a review because it really helps more people find this. Remember, the goal is to reverse 1 million type 2 diabetes in my lifetime. And as always, I want to remind you the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And some people are fighting every day just to have the health and energy to live their everyday life that they were called to live. So I am praying for your health. I am praying for your strength. And I'll see you in the next episode.